make 5 storm reports. Have I not already done that, technically? Okay, let me get this, because I do not want that. Upload 1 probe with winds over 186 miles an hour. Okay. So that I can definitely do. I would just have to get kind of lucky with a tornado that is pulling F4 winds. Or EF4 winds, which I hate that fucking scale. you guys, for those of you guys who have seen me on YouTube or know me personally, you know that I will never, in a million years, use the EF scale. I have been using the regular Fujita scale for 20 years. I'm not changing it. I do not care. I will not change that. Because even back then, it was still determined by damage, but it was also determined by wind speed. That's like saying that El Reno was not a freaking F5. Because that motherfucker was an F5 in every sense of the word, minus damage. But when you consider the fact that like 4 or 5 chasers got killed, I'm sorry. Bottom line, it's an F5. I will debate that all day. And may Tim Samaras and his team rest in peace. Alright, so let's see what these are going to do here. So these are kind of gunning once again on a northeast track. So, temperatures and dew point are both relatively high, which is very, very good. So let's look at Cape. Cape is actually decent. Like, especially around Westport, Bakersfield, and Fort City and St. John. Cape is actually pretty good. Now what's wind shear looking like? Oh, wind shear is very good. Oh, wind shear at the upper levels and mid levels is very, very good. El Reno and several other events will get re-rated if the next scale comes along. Yeah, thank you! Like, nobody in their right mind can say with full confidence, nobody in their right mind can say that El Reno was not an F5. Like, plain and simple. That thing was an F5. Because I'm sorry, you're not gonna get a freaking F3 or an F2 or an F1 with 4 fucking sub-vortices running around that damn thing. That does not happen with those smaller tornadoes. I'm sorry. Like, you can tell that I'm very passionate about meteorology and tornadoes specifically, because that kind of thing pisses me off. Like, sorry for the little rant here, but like, oh my god, I cannot express into words enough just how infuriating that is when it comes down to people saying, oh yeah, El Reno was an F3 or, you know, stuff like that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, because Doppler wind readings and direct wind readings are much more common now. Recorded winds will influence the new scale as well as damage. Just go back to the fucking regular Fujita scale that's been around for the past 30 years. Like, actually, it's been longer than the past 30 years. It's been like 50 years. Because I think that scale came out in either the 60s or the 70s. And I want to say it came out in the 70s, but don't quote me. I'll have to have somebody fact check me on that. And somebody please feel free to do so. But I'm pretty sure that scale came out in the 60s or 70s. If not even longer. But I don't think it was much further back than that. Alright, so Cape is decent. Our surface temperature and dew points are very, very good. Upper level wind shear is very good. Mid-level wind shear is pretty decent as well. And lower level wind shear is also on the relative high side. So I get a feeling we're going to get some very powerful tornadoes here. So Fort City does have a cell that is developing. I'm not really going to go toward Hopfield. Big reason why the scale got taken down was because it was discovered that F5 damage can occur at lower wind speeds, so it was tweaked to be more accurate. Okay, that is true. I understand that. Like, I'm not going to debate that at all. I can definitely see the upsides of the enhanced Fujita scale based on that, due to the fact that through scientific data, it has been discovered that F5 damage can occur at lower wind speeds, as you said. What bugs me is when something like El Reno, or I can't think of really any other ones because Moore and Joplin were both rated as EF5s at the time. And they have stayed F5s ever since. The reason the EF scale bugs me is because when you look at something like El Reno specifically, sure, it was mainly in fields. It didn't really do a whole hell of a lot of damage. However, several chasers were also killed, and that has not happened before or since, to my understanding, but I know it hasn't happened before El Reno. So with that being said, to judge a tornado simply based off of the lack of damage is, in my opinion, personally extremely offensive to Tim Samaras, his son, and the couple of volunteers that were also killed in the 2013 El Reno. That is just my 2 cents on it. But I understand the upsides and the downsides to it, but that is just one in particular that hits really close to home for me. Alright, so Westport has a confirmed tornado warning. So we're going to go ahead and head down this way, probably go about right there, I reckon, and see what we can actually end up pulling off. So I need to go southwest. So I need to go out this way. And then we need to go ahead and start heading toward Westport. El Reno is definitely going to happen again. Some influencer in a shitbox car live streaming from a dash cam is going to get too close to a violent tornado and die. If they're not paying attention. 100%. If they're not paying attention, that will 100% happen again. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not a professionally trained... Like, I'm not a professionally trained storm chaser. I never went to college or university for meteorology. I just didn't. But common sense plays a lot into it, and if you have even the most basic knowledge of tornadoes and how weather actually works, it can take you a long way. Like, you can definitely get very skilled if you learn how to read radar and understand really what you're looking at when you're actually out there in the field. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start heading down toward Westport. And I may actually reposition us just a little bit. I might actually put us right here on this crossroad, because that's looking pretty promising at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a try and see what ends up working for us and what doesn't. But I've had a good feeling if that stays on its northeast track, that we should end up being directly hit right there. The new influx of live stream-based chasers is what scares me, competing for views by taking risks. It's just ludicrous. I was going to say something else, but I don't think I am allowed to say what I'm sure even you're thinking. I don't think I'm allowed to say that particular word on Twitch. Or really on YouTube either, for that matter, I don't think. But it's ludicrous. It's literally a death sentence. Plain and simple. Now, do I understand, what they're thinking to a point? Yeah. Because realistically, as of next year, I am hopefully going to be out in my rookie season, and yeah, I'm going to take some risks. Now, I'm not going to get stupid and go chase at night in an area that I'm not familiar with. I'll stay out during the day. But, I'm not going to get right up underneath the goddamn funnel either. Storm chasing in and of itself is risky, and it is extremely dangerous. And that is what I feel a lot of people who are wanting to get into this profession, or even just this hobby by itself, they don't seem to realize just how dangerous it actually is. You're not just out there for the adrenaline. Well, okay, not everybody is out there for the adrenaline. But, you know, there comes a certain point where you need to understand that these tornadoes are very violent. Like, they are a naturally violent storm in and of themselves. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They're definitely thinking about the views and how other chasers take away his views by taking bigger risks. It's a downward spiral. Exactly. And that's how people start making crucial mistakes, and that's how people start getting killed. You know, for me, right? You know, take my case, for instance, going out for my rookie season next year. Am I going to play a little bit dangerously? Yeah, because if I don't play risky, I can't get footage that I need, and I also cannot get the photos that I need. You know, sure, for the most part, it's just adrenaline, but I have a strong enough foundation and a solid enough understanding of how these tornadoes actually work and the things that you want to do and don't want to do. You know, there's a big difference between going out there with knowledge and understanding of what you're doing as much as possible in such an unknown situation as chasing tornadoes, and then there's blatantly getting stupid because you want views and you go and get yourself killed. Because at the end of the day, those views are not going to do a damn bit of good if you go out there and get yourself killed. 9 times out of 10, if you happen to be really unlucky, that camera is going to capture your stupidity. And then, you know, if you happen to be live, who knows how many people are going to be traumatized by seeing somebody killed. Like, people really don't take into consideration just how dangerous storm chasing really is. They think it's all fun and games, and so they take risks by not paying attention. Or they take risks because they get cocky and overconfident. And that's where a lot of them are going to start really getting killed. Just plain and simple. That's where 90% of them are going to really start getting killed. This is a gorgeous tornado as well. I'm actually going to get that report real quick. Come on, let me get my truck. Alright, so I'm not going to have a whole hell of a lot of time to really work. I'll read that in a second. I need to focus on getting this probe down and getting out of here before I get myself killed. Alright, so it looks like this is mainly kind of going out here a little bit more. It looks like it's luckily going to miss that house. Something else I'm going to note, too, before I read your message, because I am trying to kind of lock in a little bit here. Something else that is also notable here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get an intercept. This thing is moving a little bit too erratically for me to be able to very easily read. Something else I'm going to note too is people like Reed Timmer. You know, going out there with literally nothing but the internet to work with for radar. You know, Reed is the kind of guy that has been doing this long enough where he has learned that he can trust his gut and put himself in certain situations that realistically have nearly gotten him killed. But he puts himself in situations that he knows how to get out of. Reed has about 5 different backup plans in case shit goes south while he's on a chase. Let me see if I can get any kind of probe data here. I doubt it. No, I am in the wind field enough. Nice. Alright, so I got 90 feet on that, which realistically is not too terrible. And I think it may also be kind of starting to rope out as well, because I can't see the actual funnel itself anymore. So let me see if I can get a storm, maybe down south at all. I can get one up north. If I go to Grassland Park, I can hit that northern one. Actually, I might be able to cut that off. I'm gonna try for it. Yeah, 362 feet at 90 miles an hour. Not the worst in the world, but it definitely could have been way better for sure. Yeah, so that last tornado is pretty much roped out. So I'm going to go ahead and try to gun it over to Grassland Park, because I want to see if I can get in front of that tornado that is developing out there. So now that I've got a second, and I'm not at immediate risk of getting killed, Spinner Tornado, the big situation is that there are a few already well-known chasers that either grew during or before the live stream era who take big but calculated risks. And there's a bunch of smaller chasers or copycats trying to chase the tail of that money. Exactly. Like, Reed Timmer being the #1 person that I can immediately think of that takes big but calculated risks. He blew up during the live stream era. Like, let's be real, and I'm not taking a shot at Reed. He's an incredible chaser. Sure, I've held my breath a few times watching him on some of his storms, but at the same time, it's like, you know, he knows what he's doing. He's taking those risks because he knows the risks themselves. He knows how to get himself out of certain situations. You know, kind of the best way that I can sort of caveat your message is by making a reference to the Twisters movie that came out, what, last year? Where it's like you look at Tyler Owens, who, you know, is already extremely popular and knows what he's doing. Reed was established as early as the late 2000s when he started on Discovery Channel. Exactly, because he was doing Storm Chasers with Sean Casey, Dr. Josh Warman and his crew when the TIV became a thing. You know, so he's been doing this long enough that he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to get himself out of really shitty situations. But going back to the Twisters reference, you know, there's then the matter of you've got Tyler Owens, who is already extremely popular as a chaser, and then you've got all these other people who have a damn weather app and think they are hot shit and know literally everything about storm chasing. You know, it's not the case. Just because you have the weather app, you actually have to put the time in to learn the technical skill to really understand what you're looking at and what you're reading. Because if you don't, and you don't understand what you're dealing with, you're going to put yourself in some really bad situations that are really going to get you killed. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. You know, as they look at a movie like Twisters, and they're like, oh yeah, I can do this, you know, no problem. It's gonna be a walk in the fucking park. No, it's not. You know, and that's probably the biggest thing that irritates me about a lot of those chasers, because don't get me wrong, being out there, I know that I'm gonna make mistakes. Because while I can do it somewhat consistently, perfectly, in a video game, I've never been in the position of chasing a tornado in real life. Do I have the technical skill and knowledge to be able to, you know, make educated decisions? Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm a professional by any means, because I'm definitely not. You know, I don't have thousands upon thousands of tornadoes under my belt to, you know, be able to back myself up. I just don't have that kind of exposure. You know, sure, I've lived in Tornado Alley for easily 90% of my life. But, like I said, at the same time, that doesn't mean I'm a professional, and it doesn't mean that I know everything either. And going into something like this, thinking that you know everything, is the most dangerous mindset you can have, and realistically the most deadly mindset that you can have. Because you're going to be thinking that, oh, I know my shit, and I don't need to be careful, when in reality, you really do need to be careful. But it's the cockiness and the overconfidence, and I say overconfidence because having confidence in yourself is a good thing, but you don't want to be overconfident and cocky either, because that's when you start making stupid decisions, thinking that you know exactly how to get yourself out of every single possible scenario that you put yourself into, when realistically you have absolutely no idea. Speaking of, apparently that storm that had confirmed tornado blew a Doppler truck off the road. Nothing much on that yet. Ugh. Also, is it just a Roblox thing in Twisted, or can Doppler on wheels actually, like, bury itself into the ground to somewhat take a direct hit? Like, is that actually a thing, or is that kind of a video game idea? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head up toward Grassland Park. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up there quick enough, but I'm still going to try. So what I am curious about is if there's a... No, it's just a straight route. Oh, I might be able to pull it off. I might end up, honestly, having to go to a gas station and getting on a different chase. I don't really want to go back down south. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off, so I am probably just going to go to the gas station at Grassland Park and probably just jump into another chase. If I'm going to be totally truthful. The stabilizers do help it be more stable in high winds, but it cannot take a direct hit from anything other than a weak tornado. Yeah, like, obviously, you know, not even TIV is going to survive a hit from an F5. You know, hell, even F4 is pushing it. Doppler on wheels, I think, is better built for taking a hit from something like an F1, maybe pushing F2. Whereas TIV2 can take a hit all the way up to F3. If I'm not mistaken. I believe TIV1 could take F3, TIV2 might be able to take F4. But I'm not entirely sure. And I'm loving this stream, too. Like, the fact that I'm able to talk about something I'm so passionate about for this long is really what makes streaming fun for me. At the end of the day, I could care less about the game that I'm playing. It's the, you know, topic that I'm able to discuss and discuss so passionately that really does make this fun for me, as well as, you know, hopefully in the future starting to build a bigger community. You know, people who are also very passionate about tornadoes and meteorology and stuff like that. Alright, let me see, is there a... So I know I'm up close toward Grassland Park. I don't know exactly where the tornado itself is, so I do have to be a little bit careful. I've got a rough idea looking at radar where it would be, but I don't have a visual on it at all. So I'm definitely going to be a little bit more careful, but I think I should be safe to at least get to that. Yeah, I'm more than safe to get to the gas station at the very least. So let's go ahead and pop up here, and we'll go ahead and jump straight into another chase. I definitely appreciate everybody who has been chatting. I'm really loving the conversations. Let's keep it going. I appreciate everybody who may follow or will follow in the future, whether I be on stream or not. But I definitely sincerely do appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right back into another chase. So make a storm report. Okay, so it does go off over my bit there. So we dropped about 5k, luckily, because we only really had gas that we had to deal with. And I think regardless of whether or not I actually fill up my gas tank at the end of a chase day, I think it fills you up regardless. So I could be wrong on that, but I also have not really been playing this game for that long, considering it's been out for 2 years. Alright. So I am going to go ahead and go check on my dogs, because I do have 2 dogs here with me. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they've got water and all that fun stuff, because it is relatively toasty outside. So I will be right back, and I appreciate y'all for being patient with me. This is kind of going to be a regular thing while I'm here. Home alone watching two dogs. It's definitely something that I am going to have to step away from time to time. So I do apologize if you guys aren't really a big fan of that. When I go and upload like the long form content, I will make sure to be able to cut that out. And I'll kind of cut out any dead space in footage as well where I'm not actively on a chase. So if you guys would like, definitely keep an eye out on my YouTube and my TikTok, because I will be posting clips there as well as long form content. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my mic on. I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get the dogs all situated. Why do I not have... Hello? Why did that drop? Hold on. So, freaking... What is going on? So go ahead and go like this, grab this. I didn't even see that somebody subscribed on YouTube. Hell yeah. Okay, so I don't have my TikTok linked on my YouTube, but I need to definitely do that. Okay, our internet's fine. I don't know what's going on. Might just be a bug or something. There's quite a few of these. So anyway, I'll be right back. I'm absolutely loving this stream. This is by far, like, for as long as I've been streaming between, like, YouTube and all that fun stuff, this is hands down probably the most I've ever had somebody chat. Or, like, this is the most amount of chat I've ever had in any of my streams, ever. So I absolutely love it. So let's definitely keep it going. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into another chase. Dogs are good to go. And we are really just chilling for the most part. So let's go ahead and jump into another chase, see if we can get a different scenario, and hopefully be able to actually get this. I don't know why my follower goal isn't updating. I may have to update it after every stream. I'm not sure why that's not updating at all, because that's supposed to be for Twitch as well. Okay, so I think I actually remember this situation. So I know Bakersville is going to get hit pretty quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and just instantly run south between Grassland Park and Prairie Hills, because I know there's going to be a tornado that's going to come, like, right through there. But let's go ahead and check out our other bits as well. So temperature and dew point are decent. It's not the best. Cape isn't great. Wind shear is fucking amazing. Alright, we might have a chance. Mid and lower levels aren't the best in terms of wind shear, but our upper levels are actually very, very, very good. Even though Cape isn't the best, wind shear once again may actually end up carrying. So that's what I'm going to kind of try to count on. And I'm curious, do I have an easy east route? So I have a south route, I have a south route there. Now, on my south route, do I have continuous east options? To an extent, yes, but I'd have to take the highway. Southernmost storms are kind of the one I'm eyeing personally. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. It will take me longer to get down there, but there's just a little bit more development. And honestly, this Bakersville one is probably going to be rain-wrapped as hell, because look at how much moisture is there. Like, there is some serious heavy rain in that. So I'm probably going to go down to this one, because this one is looking a lot less... looks like there's a lot less potential for any kind of rain wrap. So we should be able to get some relatively photogenic tornadoes. And hopefully with that will be easier intercepts. So we're going to go ahead and honestly probably gun south a little bit harder. So we'll probably go through Grassland Park and then try to cut south right about here and go like right behind Prairie Hills. And probably put us right here. There are those showers put front though, not sure if it's a boundary. What, like up in this area? Like up against the edge of the map? Or are you talking like directly in front where it's like all right here? Alright, so let's go ahead and plan our route. So we'll go south to right here. cut east right here. Spotted showers from Prairie Falls to Bridgetown. Yeah, they are a little bit spotty. Could just be a boundary of the cells. But they also look a little bit less developed as opposed to these points right here. Because obviously there's going to be rain on like the outside of the core. Because your hail core is going to be like right, at least for this cell, it's going to be like right in here. And there's a pretty decent hail core right here over at Fort City. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to target this upper one first. And then see if I can't target Fort City as well if they end up being two separate cells. I'm thinking of how that boundary might interact with storms farther south. It might end up pulling a little bit more rain off of it. So we will definitely just have to see. For now, I'm just going to full send it. And we're going to go ahead and start running south. So let's go ahead and head out this way. There's already quite a bit of rain here in Bakersville already. Or Grassland Park, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and run south to our point there, and then go ahead and cut east. Actually, I might take... I'm going to stop for a second because I want to really look at this. Let's see, so if I take that route, it's going to take me longer to get down to where I want to go. So if I just run further south and then just go east, like right here maybe? Actually, you know what? Why don't we... I'm going to try it. Like, based on how it's developing, I'm going to try it. I think Bridgetown might get a couple of good cells too, so I'm going to try to target this one that's kind of hinting over Prairie Hills. And we're going to go ahead and try to gun south from there. If I can't get a intercept, or if the storm isn't that good, we'll go ahead and just gun south to try to get that one that's poking over Bridgetown. So is the audio still doing alright? Everything else looking okay? Any glitches or anything like that that I need to be aware of? Alright. Okay, we got a tornado warning, and I'll bet you it's for this Grassland Park one. Okay, it's for Prairie Hills. Yeah, I called it. You see, like, I'm literally calling that shit. Like, I'm not a professional or anything, but that just proves my point, that I have a good enough understanding of what radar does and what it says. And I have a good enough understanding of what I'm looking at to be able to be like, oh yeah, a tornado's gonna pop up right here. And almost every single time, I've been dead on. So I'm try to stay on the road first. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, granted, this is a video game, and it's a little bit less technical than real life would be. I need to go east, so let's get around this pole here. Alright, so what I really want to do is I want to... Actually, no, I need to continue going south. What am I doing? Yeah, if I turn east, I'm going to miss this storm. I need to go south. Oh, it's going to be so rain-wrapped. I'm still going to make a try for it, even though it totally breaks one of my rules to never chase a rain-wrapped tornado. I'm still going to try it and see if I can actually make anything happen from it. I doubt it, personally, but we'll see. So we're going to try to cut down basically right on the outskirts of Prairie Hills here. And by that point, by the time I get positioned properly, I should be able to have eyes on, if not a tornado, at minimum a dust cloud that I'll be able to report. So let's go ahead and just keep going here. Okay, so the storm is to our southwest. So it's going to be out in that area somewhere. Which, admittedly, has me a little on edge. Okay, there's my tornado right there. So let's go ahead and get a report on that, and then let's see what she's doing. So she is moving south-ish. Alright, so I'm going to make a play here and see if I can make something happen. Because if I can, then lovely, but it's no real skin off my nose if not. But I definitely would like to try to be able to make some sort of play here. Especially because we're already kind of heading in a southward direction anyway, which is where those next few storms are going to be. Around this little lip here. Alright, now I definitely do need to be very careful about how I actually present this. So let's go ahead and kind of cut back this way just a little bit here. So I don't want to go too far, but I know I do have a good chunk of time to be able to play for here. I just don't have too long to be able to get this probe off. So I need to be speedy. Alright, can I get in my truck, get a probe off, and get out of here before I get killed? Like right here, I think. Alright, let's fucking go. I gotta haul ass, so this thing is gonna bury me real quick. And I am pretty sure I may have just 0-metered that. Nope, I didn't. I'm slightly off unless it shifts, like, mid-track. Yeah. It's kind of shifting somewhat, like, northeast still. So I definitely could have gotten a better hit on it, for sure. So, what are our east options here? Do I have an east option into a south route? I do. Okay, so what if we head slightly north a bit more and then go ahead and try to get in front of this a little bit more than we currently are. I wonder, would it be better for us to like go north, or would it be better for us to go south and then try to cut east? I'm thinking north, personally. Just based on that path. So I got it for 78 feet away, so that's really not too bad. Especially because we got a optimal photo. I'm surprised this tornado is as photogenic as it seemed to be in that photo. Especially with how much precipitation and everything is in the air for this particular storm. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try to punch it again. And once we get up to Dominator 3, when we have 1,000,000 coins, I'm honestly just going to save up for it, because I don't have to worry about replacing probes or anything. Once we get up to Dominator 3, we're definitely going to start playing way more dangerously, because at that point we'll actually have the capability to withstand getting a direct hit. Let's see, is this still tracking? Yeah, I gotta be real careful here, because if I'm wrong, I'm going to get killed. Hey, Kyrene, thank you much for joining the stream. Greatly appreciate ya. Just joined. You look insanely good. Well, I'm not a professional, but I'm decent enough. How's the audio and everything? Is it still pretty good? Okay, I can definitely afford to chase this just a little bit here. I am doing just fine. Morale is pretty damn high. I can't complain. Especially with this beauty right in front of me. So, let me... Oh, God, this is so fucking risky. Oh, I'm too close. No, we're not. We're good. Hold up. Is it dying? I think it is. So... Unless it recycles, let's see what these other cells down here are doing. So Bridgetown's got a pretty good one running for it. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to gun straight south. And we're going to try to hit this point right here. Because there should be a tornado right in that particular point. You stream daily. This is actually my first day streaming in a 30-day challenge. Well, I say challenge, but in a 30-day progression. But to answer your question, I will be streaming almost, if not daily, yes. I'm not going to worry about putting a schedule up right now, because I do have the next few days that I am extremely open. Whoops. I do have the next few days that I am extremely open. So we need to go south, so I need to take right. How long have I been streaming? So far today, or all told? Because you're going to get two completely different answers based on context. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop down here. Need to keep my eyes on the road, first of all. All told, I have basically been streaming since YouTube became a thing. Can I get in front of that fast enough? I almost wonder if taking that east route would be just immediately better. Come on, get up back on the road. Thank you. Spinner, what are you thinking? Because I'm thinking taking my first east option here is going to be the better bet. Take that first east option and then cut south. To try to get in front of that tornado. What do you do besides streaming? So, full-time, I am actually a delivery driver. I'm a Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash driver. What the fuck did I just hit? Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Yo, developers, what the fuck? I love you guys, but are you serious? I'm getting screwed on a chase because of this shit? Since when are floating trees a thing? Come on, dude. Am I playing any other games? I do play a little bit of Rocket League here and there. God, I'm gonna have to tell myself I'm not getting out of this. No way in hell. Hopefully it puts me down south. Anyway, so I play a little bit of Rocket League on occasion. Not as much as I used to anymore, but I definitely do still play it. And lately I've been playing a lot of modded GTA 5 with a mod called LSPDFR. It's definitely been one that has definitely been my fancy for a good chunk of time now. So let me go like this, like that. Let me go here. Let me go 12, 31. I'll fix that in a second. Sorry, guys. 31, 22, 6. Start goal. Why is that still not updated? Did I screw something up? I do have Discord, but I never use it. Other than for modding, if you want me to tell you the truth. If you'd like to message me directly, I do have Instagram. Let me go ahead and link that in chat. I'm on Instagram a little bit more often than not. Let me just go ahead and grab this here. So let me grab this. Yeah, I personally don't use Discord, but if you have Instagram, there's mine right there. Alright, so where exactly are we at? So we are at... Where are we? We are... It put us all the way back in Prairie Hills. Are you freaking kidding me? It just put us all the way back in frickin' Prairie Hills. Oh, that development is also crazy. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and go like this, and cut to a different chase. Damn it, that hurt, though. We still walk away with 7K, which is really not that bad. It's not the worst thing in the world, just not ideal either. So I'll go ahead and save that picture. Kyrian 2026, alright. If you would like to follow me on Instagram through that link that I gave you, I will have a notification for it, and I'll send you a follow back, and you'll be able to message me privately. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so why is this not doing what I need it to do? Because I need this to really be set up here. I think my goals are getting jacked up. I will once I get done streaming. I'm going to be streaming for a while, so it will be a little bit, but I will definitely eventually get around to it. My Instagram is more for like photography and everything like that, but I might use it for this too. So it'll be a bit, but I can definitely follow you back. I am a little bit hesitant, though, I will be honest, just because I am a little bit mistrusting of people who are like trying to send work and stuff. I'm all for, you know, helping other creators, but there's certain points where it gets a little bit interesting, and I'm just not willing to really take too many risks. Okay, so I have 3 out of 5 storm reports. Still gotta get that. Then I need 16 more photos. Alright, so I will be right back, everybody.